Hi, this is Matt Ullman and doing a movie review. Only because the movie is so talked about that apparently I hate my glasses now. I really need contacts. The glare distracting. Because apparently everybody who sees it has a different opinion on some things. The movie being Dark Knight. I thought it was okay. I was very surprised at the lack of blood from it, especially considering how violent it was. The people I went with, we were sitting and talking. We went out to eat afterwards, and we really couldn't remember seeing really any blood at all. Considering the amount of people who died in that film, that's quite an accomplishment. Granted, they all didn't get cut up. Some of them burned, some of them fell. You'd think there'd be like a drop that would fly out somewhere, but they didn't, which is interesting. I don't know, that people were talking, oh, is it too dark to see if you have a kid? Yeah, depends on the age. More the maturity than the age, I guess. I don't know if when I was 13 I could have watched it. When I was 13, I watched The Temple of Doom, which probably wasn't the wisest move. But did it scar me? No. Gave me a healthy fear of heights, but I had that already. I just made it a little more pronounced. I will say it's something you get in Batman movies, and I know it's just me and people like me, but do we need so many high shots? Oh God, we have enough people with a fear of heights. Thank you. We do not need to be targeted. And granted, if you're going to a Batman movie, you have to expect it at least two or three times. So, but it's just kind of weird. I did enjoy a couple of what I call cameos. They weren't. It wasn't that the people weren't on the screen for a while, or that they didn't have a memorable role. It's just that they weren't the ones that you were coming to see the movie for. Eric Roberts is one who played one of the mob bosses, and I think did a pretty good job. I didn't know it was him until I checked the IMDb when I got home. It's like, oh, okay, that's how I know him. The other one was, I'll just call him the main prisoner on the boat at the end. And if you've seen it, you know which one I'm talking about. Tiny Lister. Which, given his size, is just what it's got to be an inside joke. I think his name is it's like Tim or Tommy. It's a T, which I don't know if maybe that's the reason Tiny got in his name. For you wrestling fans, he was Zeus or Z Gangsta. He's getting better. I like him. He was also the president in Fifth Element, and I like that movie because it was the first movie I had seen him in that he wasn't in a fight somehow. It was a purely acting scene. Did he deserve an award for it? No. I'm not going to lie. He did a good job with what he was given. And his face was perfect for it because some of the looks that he had to give just made him even better, especially the last look he has in the whole movie where he's handing over the phone with Bruce Willis's mother on it. It was a look I don't think many people could have pulled off. Um, One of the things that really is getting me is the comparisons. Which was the better Batman? Which was the better Joker? I'm just waiting for which is the better Alfred. And I mentioned that on Rendell's Ravings yesterday. Although I forgotten Alfred. I forgot Al Napier from the 60s. Uh, Michael Gough and Michael Caine. But Oh, and then I forgot somebody else on top of that. Forgot the guy from the animated movie, which is the whole reason that I got ticked. I've seen, Heath versus Jack, and if you look on the IMDb for it, there's a Heath versus Jack versus Cesar Romero, who did the 60s Joker, who did good. I mean, that was another case of you didn't have any blood that you could show. So it made it tricky. How do you be this arch villain without hurting anybody? So, I think that's one of the, everybody says that the 60s Batman was campy. Well, it had to be. Because you had so many things you couldn't do. You might as well make it silly. At least then it'll be entertaining. If they tried to stick to the scripts or stick to the comic, they couldn't, it wouldn't have even lasted a season, which some people will say is good, some people will say is bad. Because it wasn't as it is now. You have so many things you can get away with now that you couldn't get away with then. Hell, most of the time if you watch it, you won't even really see a gun. People like Falseface, yes, they had guns, but they were more mobster types. The Joker, unless it was a trick gun. The Riddler, I don't ever think used one. Maybe a green gun. The Penguin did. But it wasn't a gun, it was an umbrella. That was how they got away with it for the Penguin. Is he wasn't pulling out a, 45 revolver. He was using a machine gun umbrella. So it still had the comedy factor. I don't think King Tut ever did. I'm pretty certain the Bookworm never did. The Mad Hatter might have. I don't see Jervis Tetch being much of a gun person either. Or no, Jervis. No, that was the Mad Hatter. What was that? I was thinking of the Clock King, Temple Fugit. Interesting name. But the one that never seems to get any respect in the comparison angles is the cartoon. And somebody brought that up. I think it was an article actually. Brought up the fact that the first Batman to have a distinct voice different from Bruce Wayne was the 92 to 95 and 90 whatever on. It was the same cartoon, just changed the name. Was that Batman? I can't think of what his name is now. Like Kevin Conroy, I think. I shouldn't be saying that because I don't think it's right. But and Mark Hamill too for the Joker. Did an awesome job as the Joker, I think. And I think actually in animation it's harder. Because yeah, he could have looked back at Jack Nicholson, he could have looked back at Cesar Romero. But he's not going to be acting it, so what good, I mean, apart from getting a laugh down, what could he really learn? He could learn maybe a mannerism or two, but he isn't going to be performing. So even if he gets it down, there's nothing to say that mannerism will be used. What time is it? Ooh, I'd better get this done. I need to wear these now so I can keep an eye on the time. There's nothing to say that those mannerisms will even come up. So learning them and learning his reactions to them really doesn't make much difference. Because if they're not used, what good are they? But yeah, those are my thoughts. I think it did really good. I think the guttural voice of Batman needs to go. It got old. And I don't think... I'm looking forward to who is going to be in the third. I think if they keep making good choices like this, I think they could go on forever. They could have a movie for, 5 or 6 movies as long as they keep the core. They keep Morgan Freeman, they keep Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Gary Oldman. As long as they keep the people like that, I don't think they'll have any problem going indefinitely because they've got a really good cast. They've got a good core cast. It's just who the villain is. So, but that's me. Some people may be sick of it by now, but that's you. You know what? Same deal with the TV, same deal with the radio. You don't like it, don't watch, listen to it. You got the control over that, folks. Just don't keep bitching about it.